These are some of the biggest mistakes I see golfers make with their driver. Are you guilty of doing them? And stay till the end for an extra bonus tip. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is all about some of the biggest mistakes I see golfers make with their driver and how we can fix them and make sure that you're not doing them on the golf course. But before we get started, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. It takes a second to do, it'll help me, it helps the channel, and means you'll never miss another video like this. Hit subscribe and let's get into it. As always, we could stand here and talk so much technical terms, but we're not. We're going to keep it simple, we're going to keep it easy for you to take straight out onto the golf course. There are lots of errors when it comes to the driver, but I'm just going to list the two main common ones that I see because it's ruining our driver and everyone wants to hit the driver better. So let's get straight into it with the biggest mistake that I see. And it's when it comes to setup. So many golfers set up to the driver like they do with the irons. I see them standing too close to the ball, the stance is too narrow, and the ball position is too far into the centre. Ball position. So ball position, rather than it being centre, we need to bring it forward like this, okay? It seems strange, it'll feel funny, but it's worth it. Okay, so ball position just on line with our lead heel, like so. The best way to gauge this is just pop our toes together, take half step forward and 3 steps back straight away. My stance is wide and my club is just pointing just left of my belly button. See how my shoulders are on an angle. So many golfers set up to the driver with flat shoulders, okay? Almost like they would with the irons. But with our driver, we need this angle. This is what's going to get the ball going high in the air, okay? The best way to gauge this is take our trail hand, pop it on our thigh, run it down to our knee and join the two hands together, okay? You can see my stance is wide, ball position perfect. I've got this angle. Not only does this position the shoulders correctly, but it takes my sternum from being over the ball to behind the ball. Look at my lead here. I'm behind the ball, and again, this is what's going to get the ball going super high and super far. When we bring our hand down, it's important to remember that we bring our trail hand underneath, okay? I see a lot of golfers do this. Not only does that throw our body alignment off, but it's also going to make you work the club in the wrong way. You're going to cause lots of implications by doing one simple move wrong, okay? So again, run it down to your knee and bring the hand underneath like this, okay? And that takes us to distance away from the ball. So this is where I see a lot of golfers standing too close like they would with the irons. And then I see them overdoing it, standing way too far away. Look at this gap between my body and the club. It's too much. And both of these are just going to get the body stuck and overwork. Okay, so the best way to gauge this, I do this all the time because it's just the best drill with every club in the bag, even the putter. Bring the club straight out in front and just drop down to the ground. So where that club head lays flat on the ground is where the ball needs to be. So I'm a little bit too far away here. Just need to bring that up to the ball. So this drill is so good because it allows the hands to drop underneath our chin. It pops the weight in the balls of our feet. I've got a nice natural bend to my knees and my back's in the perfect position. I don't need to do any overworking when it comes to this. And something you've probably not thought about is the grip pressure. I see so many golfers clinging onto this grip, especially when it comes to the driver. It's because we're trying to swing super fast, we're trying to swing super hard. I really like to think of a toothpaste tube, okay? Hold the grip like you would with a toothpaste tube. If you squeeze it too hard, the toothpaste is going to come out. If you don't squeeze it hard enough, then you're going to drop it. You may have a fantastic technique, but because your grip and hold this club so tight, then it's limiting you. Before we carry on, if you want to see daily golf tips, giveaways and golf content like this, then head over to my Instagram at Georgia Golf Coach, where my aim is to get you better at golf. So head over there and hit that follow button. Mistake number 2 stems from the poor setup. I see so many golfers again trying to swing the driver like we would with our irons. The technique is the opposite. We're hitting down on the ball, we're trying to create divots. You can see our sternum's in front. We're in this position. The ball's going to fly low. It's either going to pop up too high in the air. It's going to be super inconsistent. Again, that stems from a poor setup. We need the opposite. We don't want to make any contact with the ground with our driver. We actually want to be swinging on the up with our driver. We don't want this position, forward shaft lean. We almost want the driver head to win the race. We want the driver head to take over as we're swinging super fast. So by adjusting our setup accordingly, like we've just been through, this is going to give you the best chance of hitting the ball far and straight like we ideally want to do with our driver. But if you're still struggling, then this may be why it's such a huge mistake that I see. And again, it's because we're hitting down on the drive. We're hitting down on the ball. Rather than sweeping up nicely, we're hitting down. Now, this downward motion comes from a lack of body rotation, okay? So to start a golfer's backswing, when they make this mistake, they've swayed or they've just used the arms and they've not worked the body. They feel like they're turning, they feel like they're twisting the core and rotating the hips and shifting the weight, but they're not. We're just collapsing the arms or we're swaying to get us there. From here, this is dangerous. You've got to sway to get back to that ball, okay? And even more dangerous if you're just using your arms, because there's no power and there's going to be no consistency. Now, if this looks like you, then let's add some rotation, let's add some power, and let's have you hitting the ball further, because I know you want to. I know it's frustrating when the ball's going too high, too low, or you just feel like you can't get any distance. Your friends are out driving you all the time. Let's get you hitting it better. There's two fantastic drills, and you'll have seen me using these before because they're so good. Number one is the sternum drill, okay? All you need is a stick, an extra club, anything that you can just pop along our lead heel like this, okay? What I want you to do, I want you to take the club away, keeping your ear along this stick, okay? Keep your eye on the ball, the ear along the stick, and you're going to rotate your shoulders and your hips underneath your chin, like this, okay? Look how wide that swing is. I've not collapsed, I've not just used my arms, and I've certainly not swayed, okay? From here now, all I need to do is continue to rotate my shoulders and my hips back through to the ball, and look how solid that position is. My weight shifted, but there's one crucial thing to remember, is this sternum needs to stay behind the ball at all times, because you may get yourself in this fantastic position, but then you go and hit down on the ball, okay? That's where, again, we're gonna be hitting the ground. So sternum stays behind the ball, then rotate our hips, our shoulders, keeping the ear, the sternum behind the ball, and let the club release through. This is where you're going to see power produced, because you're coiling, you're rotating, and you're going to feel free, because as we've just shown you, look how much room I've got in my swing. I'm not collapsing, I'm not chicken winging, and I'm not swaying to get back to the ball. I've got so much room and I just feel so free. And that takes us on to the second drill, and it's called the head cover drill. Now this is difficult to do, so start yourself off wide and bring it in closer, okay? I position this around about half a club length away. For your first time, position it all the way up here, but bring it in closer the harder we want to make it. The aim of this drill is to have the club working on the up, okay? Like we've just mentioned, if you're a golfer that hits down on the ball, then you're going to actually hit the head cover. You're going to send the head cover halfway down the fairway. The aim of this drill is to make a swing hitting up and over the head cover. We don't want to make contact with the head cover. As I say, it's hard to do. So start out wide and bring it in closer the more confident you get. Even if you want to use something flat, maybe a T. If you feel like this is too chunky in your face, that's fine. Ditch the head cover, put a T in the place. I'm going to position mine about here, and I'm going to use the two drills together because together, personally, I think these are two of the best driver drills. Again, the alignment stick is going to get us rotating, using our arms correctly, using our whole body as one, and then the head cover just allows the club to work up and over. You're going to see some fantastic shots from this. Let's give it a go. That felt really good. And just one thing I want to remind you is that the only time that you do feel that your sternum comes close to this line is after impact. After you've worked the body up and you've finished your swing, naturally the body will come up and it will work over the stick. So that's absolutely fine. But just remember, at impact, our ear stays behind the stick and we just let the club glide over the head cover. You're going to see so much consistency within your driver swing. You're going to see the ball fly further with more power, and you're going to be hitting it further than your friends. So there we have it, some of the biggest driving mistakes that I see in golfers. If you're guilty of this, watch it over. Pause it as many times as you need to. Get your setup correct, which will lead you then to a fantastic technique. And if you're still struggling once you've corrected your setup, work on those two drills we've spoken about. So if you enjoyed the video, remember to hit subscribe. It helps me, it helps the channel, it'll get you better at golf, and it means you'll never miss another video. And I really appreciate every single person that's hit that subscribe button. And on that note, I'll see you in the next video.